Oh, God.
Texas builds more housing than California. It builds more housing than New York. When people move to Austin and Houston and Dallas, they build homes. When people move to San Jose and San Francisco and Los Angeles, they don't. Is your view, do you find it a credible view to say that the issue is Texas has solved the corporate power problem, but California is permeable to corporate power and dominated by oligarchy in a way that Texas, or for that matter, Florida, is not?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily, I think it's not necessarily corporate power. I think what we're talking about is money.
Okay, can I pause for a sec?
Talking about,
This is so boring and dumb.
No, this
Can I glaze? Can I glaze
housing
for 1
subject.
second? I have to glaze for like 1
To
microsecond.
hit on the left, I assume. Not to fucking Sam Cedar, because he's retarded.
Sam Cedar.
What?
You
Why?
know this already. And I know this because we looked this up before.
Oh, how young he looks.
58 years old.
Yeah, amazing.
Sam Cedar is 58 years old.
You know what it is? It's the Jewish blood ritual.
Something.
That we talked about
It's
it.
got to be.
Yeah.
That's wild. He looks like if he were to say this,
I hate
if
it.
he said late 30s, I would believe it. If he said late 30s,
Early 40, absolutely.
early 40s, easy.
For sure.
I would say, you look good for early 40s. You look good for early 40s.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And that's a real compliment, okay? It's not like where, yeah.
Oh, like at the end of that video? I really used to like your content, Ethan, before you were a sellout fuck.
Yeah, this is a real thing. Like, we hate you, but you look really good for your
Ezra
age.
Klein is 41. He looks older than Sam Cedar here,
Yeah,
I would say.
yeah.
That's crazy.
money.
So
And
Texas has
in the
solved the money in politics problem, but California
Well-
has not.
Well,
So this was just like, I don't even know why is Sam arguing against this. What is he arguing here? It doesn't make sense. Exactly. That
The
building
thing
housing doesn't
The
solve.
problem is that when lefties analyze society,
Yeah.
their analysis is think of a good thing. Give me a good thing. Let's play a game.
Okay, I'm thinking of a good thing.
Think of one good thing we could have, but we don't have. Think of a good thing we could have,
That I can have, but I don't?
but we don't have it right now. Think of a good thing for society. We could have it, but we don't have it.
Okay, I'm thinking of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Say it.
Oh. A working 300ZX. That's in good shape.
The reason why we don't have cool cars like that
Yeah.
is because of billionaires.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because of billionaires lobbying against cool cars like that.
Huh.
Okay, now give me something totally different. Okay?
Okay, something totally different.
Yeah, ready?
Okay.
It's going to blow your mind.
That's not working or that's working?
Just something you wish we had in society.
A girlfriend for every incel? I don't
The reason why we don't have girlfriends is because of billionaires
really.
and how they are turning us into incels because it may make money off of it because of profit and greed and billionaires.
Okay.
And so the issue is
I'm following.
this is
what
their
you're putting
analysis
down.
for literally every single problem in society. And half my chat is like this too. You guys are retarded. Okay. So then Ezra Klein comes out. So Ezra has shamelessly, now I'm not going to attack him for it because I get why. Okay. I'm pretty hot to handle right now. But shamelessly, he's basically copying all of my takes on stream for the past about year and a half. And he's lifted them and he's encapsulated them all in this book called Abundance.
Oh my God, that's actually a really good strategy because you're a little bit hot to touch right now.
Yeah,
so
but
you
I'm
just
pretty,
copy what you
basically,
say.
yeah. And so
Oh my God, I
Ezra
gotta do
Klein is
that.
like, okay, what if we looked at all these problems in society, but like, what if we actually looked at them and figured out, well, what was going on instead of just like having this transcendental boogeyman, okay? For the conservative side, it's the deep state, and for lefties, it's the billionaire thing. And so what Ezra Klein is like, because now, unfortunately, he's not me. He ain't me. And Ezra Klein hasn't explored the depth of intellectual bankruptcy that is the left. So Ezra Klein is like, well, if I ask them a few simple questions, surely they'll see how devoid of logic their positions are. So Ezra Klein is going to these shows, and for this conversation, it was through housing. So Ezra Klein is like, why can't we build housing? And Sam Cedar was like, well, the reason why we can't get housing is because of moneyed interests. And so Ezra Klein rightfully points out, okay, well, isn't it interesting that in Florida and Texas, two states that we would consider to be quite Republican, they build more houses there than they do in California, a state that we would consider to be quite liberal. So how is that possible? Have they solved corporate moneyed interests in
What is
Florida
the answer
and
to
Texas?
that?
The answer is the unfortunate, well, there's answers that are so hard that even Ezra Klein hasn't addressed them yet. The actual answer is that your biggest moneyed interest, in my opinion, for homeowners in the United States is probably the middle class. And they're probably the people you would have to hurt the most if you wanted to make homes affordable. But people have tricked themselves into thinking it's like Blackstone or whatever the fuck.
How can is it possible So using like Prop 13 as an example, which is the property tax can't go up more than
Like 1% of your dick size or whatever.
yeah, it's
in California, yeah.
3% a year or inflation rate or something like that is what it's limited. I forget exactly. And actually, Florida has the same thing with the Save Our Homes Act.
Wait, hold on. I said BlackRock before, and some guy corrected me and said BlackRock is the giant institutional investor thing, but that actually Blackstone was the company buying up homes.
I don't know.
So fuck you guys. Well, because people are trying to correct me. Okay.
What was I just saying?
Are you serious, Dan?
Well, you've just fucking derailed me. I was
It
on
wasn't
the rail.
that rail wasn't for you. It was on a different set of tracks, dipshit.
What? Oh, Prop 13, Save Our Homes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, the thing is, when can you expect a society to vote against themselves in a way that they so overwhelmingly don't want to do? Like, I understand that. I guess a good example of this is like when segregation happened. Were a majority of Americans for it happening at that point or not?
For when segregation happened? Well, after slavery, or you mean desegregation?
Desegregation, sorry.
I think a lot of Americans started to come around to it. Were the majority of them? I'm not sure. I mean, it was a Supreme Court decision, but the Civil Rights Act was legislation. I think by then enough had come around to have support in Congress. Yeah.
So the question is, like in a state like California, where homeowners are like the de facto, we choose who gets elected because we are the ruling class of voters that vote the most, and our voting bloc can, outdo any other voting bloc, and they vote for their own interest. How would you ever expect a rule that, like a self-dealing rule like that, to get repealed ever?
Well, the problem is for things like civil rights and everything.
Yeah.
Not only can we appeal to some kind of like moral virtue there, it does make for a better country. As much as it sounds so incocked, it probably is better if we have like intelligent black people have the opportunity to like become engineers rather than be fucking slaves. And free market economies are more efficient than slave-based economies and everything else. So like it benefits us in a lot of different ways. The problem for homeowner stuff is because of the way we've constructed our economy and people's primary wealth vehicles, which are unfortunately their homes, you've created an impossible...
I don't want anyone building next to me.
Yeah, you've created a really difficult contradiction. Because what does everybody complain? What's the number one thing that people complain about right now?
Home costs.
Yeah, and what is the number one thing that if you own a home, you don't want to happen?
More homes.
Well, it's home costs to go down.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's
what
it.
people want,
Yeah.
when people's minds, what people think is like, here's what I want. I want every single new thing on the market to be really cheap, but I want the cost of my thing
To be really
keep
high.
going high,
Yeah.
which is impossible. It's like saying, I have $1 million and I would want to print $1 million more and give it to those people, but those dollars are inflated, but my dollars are still the same. Like I want to make Class A shares of homes, but I want to dilute like a pool of Class B shares. It's impossible. And nobody is ever willing to address that contradictory pressure.
So how does the tyranny of the majority ever get overthrown in this case then, right? Where
Well, the step one, I don't know how to get through it eventually, but step one is you have to at least be able to talk about the problem is. And so that's what Ezra Klein is like approaching step one here and trying to get people like Sam Seder to admit it's not just billionaires making homes expensive. That's retarded, right?
Yeah.
Which it is. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's almost entirely like individual homeowners.
Yeah, and it's probably, my
Because,
guess
like,
is going to be it's probably detrimental to billionaires. Like if I live in an area and I have a business, I probably want there to be as many people that live there as possible. Greater concentration of people means more employees, means I can push down wages because I've got more workers that are competing for the same jobs, means I got more customers to sell shit to. Probably benefits almost everybody. Like Sam Seder's like, billionaires got in the way of building a tram between San Francisco and LA. It's like, I wish Ezra Klein would have asked him. And I know maybe maybe Sam would try to have some bullshit. And it's like, why? Why would, like, show me who is the billionaire who's like, oh, that tram, the BART or whatever is going to go between LA and San Francisco, I'm going to kill that project because it's going to benefit me. Who even benefits from that? Like what billionaire is making money off of killing public transport? Who?
Big gas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big. Well, I mean, maybe the states are actually probably the biggest benefit.
Now the issue is just that there's like so many there's just a lot of like things that make things. You know what the state is like?
I'm familiar.
You ever open when you start a new project, new code base?
Okay.
And you're like, I'm going to document everything perfectly.
That lasts for like a day.
I'm going to make everything perfect. Well, there's two things that happens. It either lasts for a day and then you're like, okay, I need to actually work. Or you restart like every 3 days because you're like, oh, it's all fucked up again, right? That's kind of like, I think that is a little bit kind of where states have gotten to where when they start a project, they're like, well, we need to make sure all of the environmental impacts are okay. And then we need to make sure that it like comes in with this budget. We need to do all of this.
That's lefty states.
Well, it's not just lefty though. It's important. It's important, but there are too many roadblocks and it's getting a little bit too extreme such that you literally can't do anything now in the United States. It's the red tape is just
like if you want to do
nightmare.
like a work to your house outside, you need to get an environmental impact study and soil testing. Like that needs to happen here. Like if you
Sure.
owned a house here and you wanted to put a gazebo or like something like that outside, you have to get a soil test.
Yeah, but the only
Make sure there's
problem
no
is, and
endangered
the
animals.
reason why people like me are so important and my copycats, okay, like Ezra Klein are so important, is because you need somebody to advocate for less obtrusive regulations or intrusive regulations who aren't just deregulate retards, right? Like having somebody say, like the problem is right now, you might say like, oh, we need to make it so there are less regulations. We don't have to do like environmental impact study on every single thing. And like, but what a conservative means is an electrician should be able to come to your house and wire every single thing through like the exact same fucking fuse, and all the codes for all of the construction standards on everything need to be tossed so that anybody can do anything they want ever. And if you want to dump all of your sewage right into the side of the fucking street, you have the God-given right to do that.
Well, I don't mean that.
No, I know, but everybody that says anything about deregulation, that's what they mean. It's like when people talk about like, have you seen this? Hold on. Wait, hold on. This hasn't gone through, right? I read that it passed in the Senate 100-0, but there's no way that this is like its own thing.
No tips?
This is the dumbest idea fucking ever.
It's up to 25,000 is the limit.
That's
I
still
think.
dumb.
Yeah, I know.
That's your wage. If you want to have a wage, then pay taxes. Or if you want to get rid of the income tax, get rid of the income tax. However, the issue is that the dipshits that are defending this are just Republicans. And if you ask them, can you talk me through the rationale for this? What they're saying is, they're basically saying like, well, all pet taxes are bad. Oh, thank you. You're just a fucking retard. All taxes are bad. Gotcha. Okay.
I feel the Republican, so both sides were equally retarded on this. So Democrats did it because, yay, base, this is going to be good for people that are, not making enough money. And then Republicans are like, yeah, this is based. I'm going to pay my fucking servers even less money now. So like everyone won in a way, but like nobody thought it through. So now all the people that own restaurants are going to be like, you can work here for $1 an hour, pay less money because you don't have to pay money on tips, or they're going to try to push more shit to tips, or have, this happens in Miami Beach all the time. Everything has a tip automatically included no matter what you do. So
my donos will be tips 1 trillion%.
Yeah. So this is
fucking hell yeah.
I mean, and there's no reason they can't be, right? This is stupid.
Oh, and that's 25K off the top
Yep.
of your marginal.
So that's worth.
So 37% of $25,000.
10, 12K?
$10,000 of saved money. That's
Yeah,
10 grand.
that's literally
I just
10
got
grand.
$10,000.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know what?
I'm for it. I changed my mind.
True. My 2 guns this year were free, actually. Thank you. That's my M4 Benelli and my AR-50. I can get 2 more guns. You know
It's
what?
limited to food service and beauty industry only. Beauty industry? I got some ideas on how you can look fresh.
Can be more beautiful.
Can be more beautiful. Not just on the outside, but also on the inside. Step 1, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and say,
hold on.
Today I can do
The
something
exemption
good.
would apply only to tips received by an individual in an occupation which traditionally and customarily received tips on or before December 31st, 2023, according to text stage that the Treasury Scheme publish a list of they have to publish a list of eligible occupants or occupations no later than 90 days after the measure's enactment. Oh, so there's no. Oh wait, Senate Minority Leader Charles E. Schumer.
Chuck Schumer. Little Chuck.
Wait, hold on. Why the fuck is Chuck short for Charles?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Saul and Better Call Saul.
Why?
Because his brother's name was Charles and they called him Chuck.
Yeah, but how does that, in what world does that make sense? Like Dick and Richard.
I don't know. William and Bill.
Is your name Daniel or Danielson?
You know the best thing about having the name Dan?
What?
I got 3 names.
Dan, Danny, and Dan Vestite.
And Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only employees who are compensated less than 160K. Fuck! Only employees who are compensated less than 160K in the 2024-2025 tax year, an amount that would be adjusted annually for inflation, be eligible for the exemption. They were compensated less than 160. So, oh no, I have a tip job. I only made 145K this year. Can you please give me that 25,000 deduction?
Why would they make it so high? That's insane. Have I lost touch? 100K is still a lot of money to make.
It is.
As a wage slave, right?
And 160K is obviously.
That's like an insane amount of money.
It's a good amount. Schumer said in a statement that working Americans receive tips, work hard for every dollar they earn, and are the ones who deserve tax relief, not the ultra rich. Well, excuse me, we work for our dollars. And also, what about the people that work at fucking like McDonald's and shit? They don't work for their dollars?
Fuck them. Fucking McDonald's bitch ass workers.
Will have a lasting impact on millions of Americans by protecting the hard-earned dollars of blue-collar workers.
Oh,
hold on, excuse me. Blue-collar workers are servers? Does that count? Do people say that?
No, that's no-collar servers. I don't think that would be blue-collar. Blue-collar is like some level of skill.
The last time I went to Jiffy Lube, they did have a tip option, so that's blue-collar.
I think that wouldn't be blue-collar either.
Jiffy Lube?
Yeah.
They literally wear
Yeah,
blue.
but that's like fake blue collar, I think.
Oh, come on.
It's too chained. Like if you worked at a mechanic shop, that would be
Jiffy
blue
Lube does like light mechanic stuff. They'll like change fuses and they'll-
fine, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
It's like on the cusp though of what I would do.
any job that involves
It's like fast food mechanic.
well,
Like if you don't consider a McDonald's worker blue collar,
no, I don't.
okay, then
But I don't consider a Denny's worker or a steakhouse worker blue collar.
I don't either. The question is a Jiffy Lube, which is a place that like pretty much does fast food style auto mechanic shit. Like they're not diagnosing why your timing is off on your fucking old car, right? It's just close. Like you could make the argument that it's blue collar, but certainly if you went to like
will they balance your tires at a Jiffy Lube?
they probably do oil change, they
Oil
probably
change and filter.
brakes.
Brakes? Do you think they do rotors too? They
What, like
absolutely
resurfacing them or like
no.
putting
They always tell you to fucking buy new ones.
they probably do brake pads. They probably do. I don't know. Fine, call them blue collar if you want to.
I will call them blue collar.
I don't think they do mechanic shit though. I don't think you're getting like
Hold on.
your timing done there.
Oil change, battery stuff, brakes. I bet that includes rotors. Engine. They say.
What do you mean just engine?
They probably plug into the OBD2 port and give you a code and charge you $75 for it. Exterior glass, filters, multiple, fluids, multiple, inspections, suspension.
I don't know what inspection entails.
The suspension stuff, I bet, is really important because they can help you figure out that polar moment before your inertia.
Yeah.
And
No, and
tires.
also the unsprung weight.
Yes, true. Very important.
Very important.
Very important.
All right.